And hello everyone, Lights and Gear is back with a flashlight review, and in front of me I have Nitecore's EDC33, which is making the rounds these days as one of their latest products. It's a 4,000 lumen flashlight. It's of a very compact nature, and it has something special that they call Lumin Shield. So let's talk about it here. Maximum output, as you can see, is 4,000. Your maximum distance, 450 meters. So it gets out there because it has a rather focused beam. Impact resistant to 2 meters and IP68 waterproof, so it can be submerged. And a couple of little diagrams on the back of the box here shows you where the USB-C charging port is. It has a rather unique lockout switch, which we'll talk about, and power indicators, which show you the status of the battery at a glance. So there are some nice features here, and it comes with a pocket clip, a rather interesting type of lanyard, and it is USB-C rechargeable. So, as the box gets popped open, you will see what you see right here. The flashlight is neatly tucked away, so let's pop that out. And now it's not a large flashlight. As you can see here, it's about 4 inches, not much more than 4 inches. It has some very, very aggressive knurling here along the edge and also at the base of the head, and it's very attractive looking. One of the first things that I thought of it when I first saw it was how attractive it is, just since it has nice aesthetics about it. And I'll get to the features here in a second. Let me just again, or for the first time, go over the accessories. It is USB-C chargeable, so here is your USB-C cable, and this is the lanyard, which is very different from any lanyard I think anyone has ever seen for a flashlight. It almost looks like the little guy is trying to hang himself here if you attach it, but and my first thought was, I wonder if these braids come out. But they don't. They're supposed to stay as is, and this is a spring clip right here on the end for you to attach it to something, so that's very unique. And here is the actual lanyard portion. It also comes with this little thing here, which I first thought was some kind of a mistake, but if you look at the manual, it goes into detail on how you're supposed to attach this to the light. I can show you I'll show it to you in a couple of minutes, but I, for one, was not particularly impressed with the method in which it is supposed to be attached. So let me get to that in a few here. Anyway, I think, oh yes, elsewhere in the box is the manual. So here's the manual. Here's the picture of the lanyard. But anyway, here are the outputs and so forth, which I was going to tell you about. So here's what the EDC offers. You have an overall top lumen output of 4,000. Then you have what they call the search mode and the Lumin Shield. So in search mode, it's 1,700 lumens. Then you have high at 1,200. Medium at 300, low at 70, and ultra low at 5. Now, if I back up a second, Lumin Shield is where you get 4,000 lumens. So that's not something you're going to see a lot of, is the 4,000 lumen output. But anyway, high is what you'll see most often at 1,200 lumens, and they do report that should give you around 2.5 hours. And then 6 hours or 7 hours for the medium, and 31 hours for the low, and 63 hours for the ultra low. The LED is something that I don't think many people have seen too much of, but it's rather different, and it's actually 8 or 9 LEDs, I think, altogether. They call this a 9-core UHI 20 Max LED. And again, look at that center in there. Obviously it's orange peel down in here. The reflector is orange peel. So I think there's 8 going around the side and 1 in the middle. And if you notice this little spot right there inside the reflector, that is actually a proximity sensor. So the way it works is if you get the light too close to something and you're on high mode, and that's the only place it works, the proximity sensor only works on high. So if you're going like this on high, it will back down the output from roughly around 1200 lumens to 300 lumens so it won't be quite so bright in your eyes, but also to preserve the flashlight. So on the bottom you have the tail switch, which operates the light, and it operates tactically by just a soft press of the button. And of course, to lock it in, you would give it a firm press of the switch, and that's how you lock in the output. And then each click of the switch will run through the outputs, as you would imagine, from ultra low to high. And then click off the switch, of course, to turn it off. The way they have the USB charging port configured on the light is also quite unique. The way I have it right now is that you wouldn't even know where it was. But to find it, you give the end cap here a little twist. And peekaboo, there it is. So it gets covered up here, if you want, by the end of the tail cap. Or you can leave it twisted this way, and it'll be there all the time. This is, of course, a new way to have the USB port on the light, as opposed to the old-fashioned way by having the little rubber flap that you pull back and push in. Now this little button below it, this little toggle switch, is your lock and unlock feature, and that too is very innovative on a flashlight. Right now it's in the unlock position because if I press the button I'm getting light, but here is the locked position with the switch pushed up, and with it pushed up I'm hitting the base and I'm not getting any light. So obviously to unlock it, just push it down and you're back into business again. So let me show you the output here, or maybe I should talk about how to get the other modes on it first, I suppose. So basically you have the beam is different on the standard modes versus the search mode and the Lumin Shield. In each of these 3 situations you get a slightly different beam pattern. Now the thing is, in tactical mode like this, the only mode you can access is the search mode. And the search mode is where the beam is at its tightest. So always hard to see on the camera, but this is the tightest beam you will get on the light. When it's in the Lumin Shield, that is when it gives you more of a floodlight. So Lumin Shield is flood and search is very focused. The standard modes between ultra low and high are they're still focused. They're focused like they are in search, but they're not focused quite as much. Now I also want to mention that already, you've seen what I've done here. All I've been doing is pressing this tactically and showing you the beam, but already the head is getting hot. Right now it's very warm, but if I left this on for about 30 seconds, this part of the head would be extremely hot. So that's one thing to keep very aware of. Obviously, all flashlights do have the hot symbol up here at the end, but this does get very hot in a very short or very quick period of time. So the other feature being the battery indicator, which is nice. If you just sort of look at the light like this, you won't even notice where it is, but it's right there, almost at the tail cap, and you can check the battery power anytime, the battery capacity, just by soft pressing the switch. You don't even have to turn the light on. All you do is give this a quick little press and it lights up to show you the approximation of the battery. Right now it's showing 4, which means it's 75 to 100% charged. If it was 3, it would be down on the 50% range, and then when it's 2, it's around 20%. And obviously if it just lights up with 1, then you better charge it soon or you'll have no juice. And whenever the light is on, these are lit. So if the light is on, the power indicators are lit constantly. To turn it on and lock it on is a complete press. And you have to do it actually kind of hard and kind of fast, because it's very easy to press it and just get the tactical light out of it. And so, I mean, to lock it and to get your regular modes, you have to kind of do it hard and fast. So right now, I'm in the regular modes, and I'm in ultra low right now, low, medium, high, and then back down to ultra low. So there are your modes. Okay, let's take a look at the beam pattern of the EDC33. And so if I give the button just a very, well, let me do this first. Let me turn it on. I have to give the rear switch a very firm click in order for it to turn on and stay on. So this right now, we are in ultra low mode, and it may look, well, let me turn the light off here. There we go. It might look a little bit, probably looks brighter on the camera than it actually is, but it actually puts out a very bright beam even on ultra low because of that very focused spot beam. So as you can see here on ultra low, I mean, and even to my naked eye here, it is pretty bright into the room there with that focused beam. So this is ultra low, and if I give it a click, or rather, a regular click, I'll get to the low mode, and then here's the medium mode, and here's high. All right, so there's your high mode, and another click will take you right back down to ultra low. Now the way the next mode works, which would be search mode, the only way to get to that is to give it a holding press, sort of like a tactical press. So a tactical press will get you to search mode, and that's whether it's on or off. All right, so here's your search mode in a tactical press, and this is where the beam again is pretty focused, and I think it's actually a little bit more focused than it is in the regular lighting mode, which is like this. For instance, here we are in medium, okay? So this is medium, so now if I give it the press there to search mode, obviously it's a lot brighter, and I guess maybe, I don't know, it doesn't look to me like it is all that much more focused, but of course it's a lot brighter, which it's supposed to be. So this is search mode. So the way I get to Lumin Shield is to be in search mode and then give the button a holding press at that point. And sometimes it can almost be a little bit challenging. So there is Lumin Shield. And if I release it, it just goes back to where we were before on the medium mode, since it has mode memory, of course. So once again, here I give it a light press and I'm in search mode. I give it a holding press from there and I go to Lumin Shield, which is your 4,000 lumens. And that's also the widest beam that it gives you. That's the floodiest beam, is on the Lumin Shield. So again, search mode, and then a holding press and Lumin Shield. So again, that's your 4,000 lumens on Lumin Shield. And the battery is gone down to 3 now, so you can kind of see that here. The LEDs are showing three positions instead of 4. those shots were helpful. Let me go into a little bit more detail on the lanyard, because the manual shows what you're supposed to do to connect it, but I had a very difficult time trying to connect it. So it shows it as going underneath the clip here, and you have to use that little doohickey that it gives you, this little thread. You have to use that to try to thread the lanyard, or try to thread the cord underneath this part of the clip, underneath and then over the top of it. So it goes underneath and then over the center and then underneath again and out the other side, and then to pull it right through, and then it ends up looking like that, or like this. So you've got it tied more or less around the clip, and then the end, of course, clips onto anything you need it to clip onto. But I tried it and I gave up. I had the darndest time trying to thread it through this section up here, and I basically gave up because it was very hard getting the end. It was very hard getting this loop around this portion of the clip. I'm not saying it's impossible, but if it can be done, it would require a few minutes of fiddling and finagling. So in a nutshell, the Nitecore EDC33 has its good points and its not so great points. It's up to you to decide if it's the kind of light for you, and if you think it would be useful in your different situations. If you do, you can certainly you can click on the link that I have in the description below, and you will be able to pick one up. You can also read my review at lightsandgear.com with some additional outdoor shots. But that's it. If you have any questions or comments, let me know below. And thank you for watching the video, and we'll see you next time. Take care.